It sure was nice of your uncle to let us stay at his cabin, Danny chirped from the back seat. Yeah, it'll be a nice change of scenery from Nowheresville, Arkansas, I replied. Gravel crunched beneath the tires of my Toyota Tacoma as we screeched to a halt. Jeffrey, you really need to get those brake pads checked out, Rachel scoffed as she unbuckled her seatbelt. Rachel's right for once, bro. That shit sounds like a dying cat. Danny chortled. Shut up, Danny. You know I'm always right. Rachel smirked, pretentiously flipping her platinum blonde hair behind her. What was that? You said you're always wrong? Come on now, don't be so hard on yourself. Danny quipped, earning him a disapproving scowl. All right, you two, let's get all our stuff unpacked, then we can decide which one of you has the lowest IQ score. I grinned, stepping out into the frigid evening air. Jeff, can you get the cooler? My hands are full. Danny implored. Yeah, give me a second. I'm carrying shit too, I retorted. Babe, this stuff is heavy, Rachel whined. Just set it down. I'll come back out to get it. I exasperatedly sighed. Thanks, you're the best, she fawned, planting a kiss on my cheek before skipping merrily into the cabin. Gee, thanks, I muttered, trudging through the thin layer of snow that blanketed the ground. I was on my way back out to retrieve the absurdly light boxes that my girlfriend had been too lazy to carry in when I caught movement out to my periphery. I whipped my head in its direction. In the dim, fleeting light, I thought I could make out some kind of forest creature peeking back at me from deeper in the woods. It was obscured by a large pine tree, and at that distance I could only discern a pair of glowing eyes staring directly at me. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and a sense of trepidation began to bubble in my gut. I reasoned that it must have been a deer and promptly brought the rest of our belongings inside. When are Trent and Savannah supposed to get here? Danny inquired, as I plopped down on the sofa next to Rachel. Sav just said they're like an hour away, Rachel answered despondently, without even glancing up from her phone. Well, what do you want to do until they get here? I wondered aloud. It doesn't matter to me, Rachel mumbled. How about we start a fire? It's kind of chilly in here, Danny suggested. That sounds like a great idea. I think we packed some s'mores. Would you mind helping me with the firewood? My uncle keeps some on the side of the cabin, I replied, eager to feel the warmth of the flames licking against my skin. Yeah, sure thing, man. No, it's okay, Rachel, we got it. No need to offer your assistance, he teased. He was rewarded with a glare and the middle finger. Seriously, though, what's her problem? Danny asked, as I handed him a log from the stack. Don't worry about it. She's just upset that the cabin has no Wi-Fi and her TikToks won't load, I admitted, as I heaved a couple pieces of lumber. She'll be fine once Trent and Savannah... I froze. A chill ran up my spine as that prior sense of unease returned tenfold. Danny, do you see that? I whispered. See what? He murmured, tracing my gaze. The eyes were back, only this time they were about 10 feet in the air. Twin orbs illuminated in the dark, clearly visible through the foliage. And this time, they were closer. Probably just an owl, dude, Danny reasoned. Yeah, probably, I stuttered. I ushered Danny inside, desperate to escape the creature's line of sight. I slammed the door, tossing the firewood aside and swiftly turning the lock. Babe, is everything okay? You look like you've seen a ghost, Rachel questioned, concern washing over her features. He's fine, he just saw an owl and got spooked, Danny nonchalantly explained. Yeah, he's right. I'm good, I replied, sensing the color flush back into my face. Danny was right. It must have been a bird. Nothing else could have been that high above the forest floor. At least, that's what I told myself. Danny helped me ignite the fire, and before long we were all laughing and telling college stories amid the dancing flames. Then, out of nowhere, he puked all over this girl's dress, Danny told Rachel in between giggles. So she slapped him so hard that he fell on his ass. They erupted into a fit of uncontrollable laughter. I'm sorry, Jay, but that's fucking funny, Rachel wheezed, struggling to regain her composure. Yeah, we've all done things we're not proud of, I bashfully remarked. Danny, what about the time you downed a fifth of Jack and woke up in nothing but your underwear in some random dude's front yard? I retorted. His cheeks turned red. Alright, you got me there. I still don't know where my clothes went, he chuckled. Our attention flew to the door as a loud knocking reverberated through it. They're here, Rachel giddily squeaked. D-Train, can you get that? I blubbered through a mouthful of chocolate and graham crackers. The door swung open the second Danny flipped the lock. We're here, bitches. Who's ready to get fucked up? Savannah yelled, sporting a bottle of liquor in each hand. Trent tailed closely behind, loaded down with more gear than a pack mule. Rachel raced over to Savannah and threw her arms around her, squealing and hopping up and down excitedly. Hey, Trent, I can grab some of that if you need help, I offered. That'd be great, dude. I'd really appreciate it, he acknowledged, as I hoisted one of the multiple backpacks dangling from his saddled body. Y'all can stay in the guest bedroom, I stated, setting his stuff down on the neatly made queen-sized bed. Thanks, man. This place is pretty nice, he mentioned, surveying the room. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised my uncle let us stay here. He doesn't allow many visitors, I admitted. There's gonna be plenty of time to unpack. We got some s'mores out here if you... Trent abruptly grabbed my arm before I could rejoin our friends. I turned back to him, shocked at his sudden advancement. A stern expression overtook his countenance. Before we go back out there, you didn't see anything watching you when you got here, did you? I didn't say anything to Savannah because I didn't want to freak her out, but I saw these creepy-ass eyes just staring at us from the forest, he whispered, coldly. I swallowed hard, fear snaking its way back into my palpitating heart. I think I saw a deer or something when I got here, I murmured. Keep your guard up, but I'm sure it's nothing, I instructed. Trent's grip slipped away from my arm and he nodded, grim expression unwavering. Though I feigned tranquility, my mind was throwing out every sickening scenario it could conjure. That all but confirmed it for me. Something was out there, and it was stalking us. As unnerving as the situation was, Trent and I managed to subdue our concerns. We drank the night away, recounting tales from our pasts and enjoying each other's company. Every last one of us awoke with a nasty hangover the next day. After taking some much-needed time to recover, we ventured into town to sightsee and pursue the ample stores and restaurants the town boasted. The sun was low in the sky upon our return, and the eyes from the previous night were the last things on my mind as we all prepared for another evening of laughs and heavy drinking. Here's to yours, here's to mine, here's to getting drunk and high, Danny roared, throwing back a shot of whiskey as we all followed suit. I grimaced as the liquor burned its way through my insides. Who's ready for another? Savannah shouted. Oh, me, Rachel exclaimed. You boys want one? Savannah proposed, eyeing Trent. Nah, I'm good for now, I responded. That's all you, babe, Trent agreed. I'm gonna take a smoke break. Anyone want to join? Danny asked, extending a pack of Marlboro Reds and a lighter. Ew, no, that's gross, Rachel sneered. Fine, suit yourself, Danny frustratedly mumbled. The girls downed their shots, and I watched their faces scrunch up at the foul taste. A smile began edging its way across my face. Trent was grinning from ear to ear, stifling a laugh. Again, Savannah screamed with a childlike enthusiasm. She began to lift the bottle to her lips, but Trent shot out a hand to stop her. I don't think so. You're cut off for now, huh? Trent commanded, as Savannah pouted and crossed her arms in defiance. Sucks for you, Rachel slurred, snatching the bottle. No, you're done too, sweetheart, I affirmed, plucking the whiskey from her hand and placing it firmly out of her reach. Come on, just one more, please. Our girlfriends whined in protest. A horrified shriek sent panic rippling collectively through us. Trent looked me dead in the eyes, terror visible in his pupils. Danny, he whimpered. We bolted for the door in unison. You'll stay here. We'll take care of this, I ordered. The words came out brittle and weak. We hurried around the corner of the cabin. Trent cupped his hands over his mouth and yelled at the top of his lungs. Danny! He was met with silence. And then, laughing. Danny emerged from behind a nearby evergreen, doubled over in stitches. You should see the looks on your faces, he sputtered. I should have recorded it. I watched as Trent's petrified demeanor suddenly melted into one of rage. He began marching furiously over to Danny. You stupid little shit. We thought you were actually fucking hurt. He paused, and the words caught in his throat. I quickly understood why. Directly behind Danny stood an impossibly tall, lanky figure. The crown of its head towered at least 10 feet in the air. Gray, ashen skin stretched tightly over its emaciated frame. Claws sharp as butcher knives protruded from each digit, primed to flay its next meal. And those eyes, gleaming reptilian spheres, burned into the night. And behind those heart-stopping predatory orbs, hunger. Danny's boisterous laughter ceased when he noticed our bewildered expressions. Guys? In an instant, the thing pounced on Danny, razor-like fingers raking into his back with sickening speed and precision. Danny wailed in agony, begging and pleading for his life, but the creature showed no mercy. It smiled, showcasing rows of jagged, pointed teeth, as it burrowed relentlessly into Danny's neck, sending blood and viscera hurling in all directions. A tiny gasp released Trent and me from our joint daze. We turned to see the girls peeking, wide-eyed from behind the entryway. We darted towards the cabin and pushed our girlfriends inside, swiftly slamming and locking the door. Savannah began hyperventilating and rocking back and forth. Rachel sobbed hysterically as her entire body trembled uncontrollably. Trent just stared in dumbstruck shock. Shattered glass snapped us out of it as glistening shards flew across the room. Rachel and Savannah screamed in terror. The beast inserted its hideous head into the newly formed hole, crimson teeth gnashing aimlessly at the air. Adrenaline surged through me, and I leapt into action. The windows are too small for us to fit through. If anyone has cell reception, call the cops and stay out of its reach, I demanded. What are you gonna do? Rachel mewed. I'm gonna blow that fucking thing's head off. I retrieved my uncle's shotgun from under the bed and rushed back to the group. I can't get a signal, Savannah uttered dejectedly. I can't either, Rachel squeaked. Looks like we're gonna have to figure something else out, Trent sighed. Just as I whipped out my phone to vainly check my own reception, a speaker I hadn't even noticed crackled to life overhead. We glanced at it, then each other, puzzled at the unexpected disturbance. Demented, cackling bellowed from the ceiling. Then it spoke. A gruff voice that I vaguely recognized slashed through the silence like a rusty knife. Sorry to keep doing this to you, nephew. Y'all really do seem like good kids. My uncle rasped, sounding almost elated. Uncle Wyatt, you sick fuck. I'm gonna fucking kill you, I seethed. Now, don't bother trying to talk back. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Anyway, people in town were starting to raise suspicion that all folks gone missing. You and your friends will keep Bessie satisfied for a long time.
He wheezed. And with that, we were left unsettlingly alone once again. That stupid piece of shit. I swear, when we get out of here, I'm gonna blow his fucking brains out. I raged, fury enveloping me. This is so fucked. We're all gonna die. Rachel cried, tears streaming down her face. No, we're not. I have a plan, but you're not gonna like it. Trent stoically confessed. All right, a plan. That's good. Let's hear it, I requested. This place only has one exit, right? He probed. Babe, do you see another way out? Savannah interjected. No, I just wanted to be sure. Trent sheepishly mumbled. She's right. There's only one door, but I could probably open the window in the bedroom. I chimed in. Perfect. I'll distract the thing. Sav, while I'm doing that, I need you to sprint to the car and drive into town to get help. He turned and gazed to me. You and Rach hole up in the bathroom until help arrives. Everyone understand? He prompted, surveying our faces. But won't you die? I whispered meekly. There's a good chance that I will, but this should help my case a little. He grinned as he produced a sleek 9mm from his waistband. But why you? Why me? Baby, I'm not ready to lose you. Savannah sobbed, sloppy tears staining her shirt. You know why, Sav? I played football in high school. I'm the biggest one here, and it'll take the longest with me. And you used to run track. You're faster than all of us combined. He acknowledged. I know, but it's just not fair. Savannah wailed. Hey, look at me. You can do this, and I'll be right here when you return. Savannah glanced up at him, teary-eyed. Okay, I believe you. She conceded. Trent placed his hands on her hips and pulled her in close. He kissed her deeply. I love you, Savannah Mullen, he uttered endearingly, as they stared longingly into each other's glimmering eyes. I love you too, Trent Baker, she reciprocated. We stood in silent reverence only for a second. With newfounded ambition, Trent exclaimed, Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for me to skin a cryptid. Wait, before you go, I have something that might help, I mentioned. I sprinted into the bedroom and returned with 2 walkie-talkies. Savannah, take one of these and let us know when you make it out, I advised, handing her one of the walkies. Great idea. Can y'all throw something out the broken window to get the thing's attention while Jeff helps out? Trent implored. Anything for you, babe, Savannah answered. She scooped up a vase from the coffee table and cocked her arm like a quarterback, ready to send it through the window at a moment's notice. I accompanied Trent to the bedroom and helped him prop the window open as a loud shatter resonated from the other room. The thing re-emerged, snarling and snapping viciously. The girls screamed in tandem. Good luck out there. Give it hell, I directed. Will do. And if I don't come back, take care of Savannah for me, he requested sternly, as a solitary tear rolled down his cheek. I solemnly nodded. Oh, and Trent. His eyes met mine, half of his body outside the cabin. Thank you. He flashed me with a thumbs up and slipped into the night. I joined the girls as Savannah prepared to make the mad dash for her car. Sav, you got this. We know you can do it, Rachel reassured her. Once you hear Trent, go for it, I reiterated. Got it, she murmured, a gleam of determination sweeping across her face. Suddenly, Trent's muffled voice rang out. Hey, Big Ugly, over here. A chain of rapid gunshots tore through the air as Savannah raced through the door. The beast unleashed a deafening roar that was loud enough to wake the dead. And then, we heard a nauseating, wet, ripping noise. Trent, he didn't even scream. We locked the door behind her. I took Rachel's trembling hand and led her into the bathroom, barricading us inside. I had just flipped the lock when Savannah's terrified voice cut in through the walkie.
Guys, someone slashed our fucking tires.
She whimpered. Fuck, I cursed. Okay, do you think you can make it back to the cabin? I urgently inquired.
No, that thing, it's right outside the car. It's watching me.
Her voice quivered. My heart hammered in my chest, and I said a silent prayer that Savannah would somehow be okay. But my prayer went unanswered, as the sound of shattering glass emanated both from outside and through the walkie-talkie. Savannah shrieked, the most dreadful, guttural scream I'd ever heard, rising from inside her. Then, the walkie went dead. Radio silent. We tried to reach her over and over again, but we were only met with static with each futile attempt. That was nearly an hour ago. The creature is in the cabin now. I can hear it lurking just outside the door. I've got a death grip on the shotgun. When it inevitably reaches the barrier between us, I'm going to blow that ungodly abomination to bits. We will make it out of here. For Danny, for Savannah, for Trent. And when we do, I'm going to make my scumbag uncle wish he was never fucking born.